how you respond in a crisis, how you respond in stress, how you respond when things are going well is a direct reflection of you, your self-respect, and it's a reflection of the outcomes that you are getting. Hey, what's up, my friends? It's Cletus Coffey, the founder of Be the Torch. And I did a keynote talk and I talked about the 3 things that we can control in life: our attitude, our effort, and our response. And the group really wanted me to dive deeper into the response aspect of it. We all bring a positive attitude. Yes, put forth a great effort, but the response one, no one got. When I asked them, what are the 3 things you can't control? They got attitude and effort. They didn't get to response. And most groups do not, because we don't look at our response and our emotions that show up when there's an opportunity for us to face a decision we have to make or a response to something that we can control that. So attitude, effort, response. Those are the 3 things we can control. We want to focus on things we can control, not things we cannot control. For example, the scoreboard. If you haven't listened to any of my content on the scoreboard, yes, we cannot control the scoreboard. So the outcomes that you get, your results, you can't control. You control your attitude that you bring into it, the effort that you put in, and how you respond, how you make adjustments, but you cannot control the outcome that happens. So this particular video, we're going to focus on response, because here's what happened. When an event happens, an event and a response, you'll see in there that there's a gap, and it's a short gap. And for a lot of times, many situations, it's just that gap is just a flinch, quick millisecond. Event, response. Before you respond, it's important to have a strategy in place. And first and foremost, a foundation of truth and knowingness, knowing what is true about you and true for you. So if you followed any of my work on personal culture, it's rooted in us, number one, getting connection to truth, getting a clarity of where we need to take ownership and responsibility for things we are doing or have done in our lives, so that we can get into a place where we are standing in our personal power. And when we stand in our personal power, it doesn't matter what anyone says to us. It doesn't matter the situations that happen, because we know who we are. We're clear. And we've already said ever ain't anything that anyone could say about us. So if someone wants to respond and judge you or troll you or say something negative, demean you, belittle you, or is sarcastic, that's a reflection of them. You follow me? What anyone says about you is a reflection of them. It's not a reflection on you, especially when you are clear on who you are. Then what are they going to say that you haven't already said? So oftentimes when we get triggered, it's because, somebody is trying to make an attempt to attack us, and we believe them. We believe what they're saying about us, and so we get triggered by it. But when you are solid, when you know who you are, when you're clear, it doesn't matter what anyone else says. You can respond in a way that best serves you. Just keep in mind, what someone says about you is a reflection of them. However, how you respond to how they see you is a reflection of you. So let me recap. What they say about you is a reflection of them. How you respond to what they say about you is a reflection of you. So where are you at emotionally in your response? Are you fragile? Are you weak? Are you too insecure so that when someone says something about you or a situation happens that you don't like, that you fly off the handle, you get emotional, you get all fired up, you get triggered? That's what happens. And if you've ever come from the sports world where I came from, there were so many coaches and parents, athletes, fans that are weak. They're insecure. They have not gotten solid with themselves, and thus they get triggered when an official makes a bad call. When the other team, does something that they don't like, they get triggered by it. Versus standing in power and be able to make a decision that can best get them the outcome that they want. So event happens, response. There's a gap in there. What you do in that gap really, really matters and determines the outcome. So in that gap, if you get triggered, and that triggering is going to happen just in an instant. You don't even think about it. It's going to be unconscious. But if you have a plan, an emotional plan in place, highly recommend this, especially as a business owner. You need to not be surprised when things go awry, when an employee isn't performing the way that you want, or when a customer ends their contract and doesn't renew, or you don't land the big sale that you knew you were going to land. When an event happens, you need to have the emotional intelligence to respond in a way that can get you the outcome that you're looking for. So that, as I mentioned, that gap there, it's a short gap. There's not much. So what I recommend first and foremost is having some sort of strategy in place to ensure that you can center yourself in that gap between event and response. Centering yourself to help gather your emotions. It may emotionally fire you up. And if you're an emotional person that can fly off the handle, you're going to respond in a way it's going to be potentially detrimental. It's not going to get you the outcome that you're looking for. So in that moment, have a predetermined plan for what you can do emotionally in that moment. Maybe it is you take 5 or 6 deep breaths. Maybe you pause for 3 minutes to just kind of gather yourself before you respond. Maybe you are someone who, oftentimes we talk about like wearing a rubber band. You snap a rubber band 10 times. It's a pattern that when an event happens, I snap a rubber band, it centers me. Before you respond, if you're on social media and you're putting out content like this, and it's not a matter of if, but when someone pushes back, someone says something nasty, that's a reflection of them. Why would you even worry about it? They want to troll you. That's an example of how they honor and respect themselves. They don't. So they troll you, they say bad stuff. Oh, well, move on. How you respond is really important. And oftentimes a non-response is the best response. Responding in a way that allows you to get the outcome that you're looking for. Step number 1 is pause before you respond. Even if the pause is just a few moments, a few beats, at least you're able to center yourself and remind yourself of your emotional state, or at least the emotional state that you want to have. So this is, if you wait until the moment happens, it's going to eat you alive. So you have to put a plan in place before it actually happens, so that when it does happen, you already know what's going down. You already know the game plan. You're going to stop. You're going to take 6 deep breaths. You're going to center yourself, and then you're going to respond in a way that you know is in alignment with who you are, how you honor and respect yourself, and then ultimately get you the outcome that you're looking for. So if you're saying, hey, look, I'm not going to get emotionally caught up, someone of character and strength and standing in my power, not in force, not in my weaknesses. I'm not someone that's going to let my insecurities and my weaknesses get the best of me. Then you have to ensure that that's the way you're going to respond. Maybe it's neutral. You're not going to get high about it. You're not going to get low about it. It is what it is. Maybe you're someone who really understands the power of the present moment and just being present and not worrying about what ifs or what has been in the past. You are locked in on, this is who I am right now. This is the present moment. I'm going to respond with that in mind. I'm not in danger. No one's threatening me. Someone has just clearly has their own insecurities and they're triggered by something I have done. And that's just a reflection of them. And you brush it off and you move on. So knowing that standing in our power is really important, you have to make sure you're clear on yourself. If you're not aware of your insecurities, if you're not aware that how your ego is playing a role in responding to things to protect you from looking weak, to looking insecure, to looking as if you're not put together, that you don't know what you're talking about because this random person, may not a random person, it might be your romantic partner, said something about you, to you, that was hurtful. And before you respond back and you did this and you did blah, blah, all that mess, that just causes more fire, chaos, centering yourself, responding in a way that reflects on your experience. That made me feel, boom. And you can share that with them, talking about yourself, because they can't dispute that. They can't dispute what you're feeling. That's what you're feeling. That's what you're feeling in that moment. Based on what they said, that didn't feel very good. That hurt. That made me sad. That made me angry, whatever. Communicating that in a way that gets you the outcome that you're looking for. So in the example of working with a customer, or we'll just take the romantic partnership example. I love this person. I'm not trying to hurt them or harm them, even though they just harmed me. I love them. I want to be an ally here. So I'm just going to communicate. I'm going to stand on this side of the line and say, hey, this is how I'm feeling in this situation. And really the best way to do that is to be clear and be aware yourself first and foremost. That's what we help you do. Be the Torch movement is really about helping high achieving, driven, emotional human beings that a lot of us are, and helping you build a life so that you can expand in all 5 key areas of personal culture: psychology, physiology, people, profits, and presence. That's the power of personal culture. And so this movement is bringing in like-minded individuals like yourselves who wants to be able to create a life that their business can fit into, not the other way around. Far too often we think that we can build a business that'll solve all my problems, my relationship problems, my challenges with being a parent, or my health problems, or whatever it may be. It doesn't work that way. So you can't expand in one area and expect others to just follow along. You have to put in the work to expand in all 5 areas. And once you do that, no one's anchoring anyone down, all growing exponentially. Maybe sometimes at different levels, but they are in the process of all growing. That's the power of personal culture. That's the power of becoming the torch. And when we are emotional and we fly off the handle and we do things that we oftentimes regret, that's just our little pilot light that is in our bellies, right? We want to be a full-fledged torch, a blaze, to reach the highest potential, to be the greatest version of yourself. We can help you do that. Subscribing to this channel is a great way to do just that. Being part of the movement, if you go to BeTheTorch.com and reach out to our group, and let's figure out how we can best get you involved in our programs that are coming up. We've got virtual programs, we have live in-person programs, coaching and training, and most importantly, accountability. You're not going to go do this on your own. I've tried all that. I've bought the programs, the seminars, I've gone to the events. It did not serve me. I needed someone to hold me accountable, and we're here to help you do that so you can expand and grow and see success in all areas of life. BeTheTorch.com. We're looking forward to having you be a part of the movement.